Good morning, one and all. Now I'm going to present about the soft computing second unit, and I'm Anusha Batmavati, working as an assistant professor as temporary basis in Government Engineering College, Tirunelveli. The second unit is neural networks, and these are the topics which we are going to discuss in this video section. First, introduction to neural networks. What are neural networks? Networks of neurons which are found in real, that is biological. They are saying our brain is called as neuron. But what is artificial neurons? These are the curved approximations of the neurons found in real brains. Then coming to the artificial neural networks, ANN. These are the networks of artificial neurons and hence constitute curved approximations to parts of real brains. It is a parallel computational system consisting of many simple processing elements connected together in a specific way in order to perform a particular task. Different neural network types. First one is single layer neural network. These are called as an Hopfield networks. Next, multi-layered feed-forward neural network. For example, a standard backpropagation functional link and product unit networks are called as an multi-layered feed-forward networks. Next, temporal neural network. These are such as Elman and Jordan simple recurrent networks as well as a time delay neural networks. Next, self-organizing neural networks are Kohonian self-organizing future maps and the learning vector quantizer. Next, combined feed-forward and self-organizing neural networks are the networks such as radial basis function networks. And the applications of artificial neural networks are classification, pattern matching, pattern completion, optimization, control, function approximation, and data mining, as we saw in the first unit. Then next one is architecture of artificial neural networks. So these neural networks are known to be universal function approximators. Various architectures are available to approximate any nonlinear function. Different architectures allow for generation of functions of different complexity and power. So there are three types. First one is feed forward, feed backward network, and lateral networks. First, what is feed forward networks? Here they are having a three layers. First one is input layer, second one is hidden layer, and the third one is output layer. So what is first input layer? Input layer, the number of neurons in this layer corresponds to the number of inputs to the neural network. This layer consists of passive nodes, that is which do not take part in the actual signal modification but only transmits the signal to the following layer. Then what is hidden layer? In this layer, the arbitrary number of layers with arbitrary number of neurons. Nodes in this layer take part in the signal modification, hence they are active. Then output layer. The number of neurons in the output layer corresponds to the number of output values of the neural network. The nodes in this layer are active ones. Here the network size is n cross m cross r, where W is mentioned as an input weight matrix and V is mentioned as the output weight matrix. So here no feedback within the network and the coupling takes place from one layer to the next. The information follows in general in the forward direction. So it is called as a feed forward network. In this feed forward neural network, they have more than one hidden layer. However, it can be provided that feed forward network with one hidden layer has enough to approximate any continuous function. The next, feed backward network, and this is the general architecture of the feed backward network. So here also they are having one input, one hidden layer and one output layer. So here the input and these state layers are linear. The hidden layer is hyperbolic tangent and the output layer is also linear. Next, lateral network. So in this lateral network, they are having input layer, hidden layer and output layer. There exists coupling of neurons within one layer. So in the previous layers, there is no sort of coupling. In previous layer, there is no sort of coupling, but in this lateral network, they are having coupling between the neurons in one layer, within one layer. There is no essentiality split feedback path among the different layers. So this can be thought of as a compromise between the forward and feedback network. Next method is Mikulec-Pitts neuron. It is similar to the logic gates. It uses a threshold logic using inspirations from actual neurons. Generally, they are reorganized and recognized as a designers of the first artificial neural networks known as a threshold logic. So these are the characteristics. The activation is binary. The connection path is exciatory if the weight on the path is positive, otherwise the path is inhibitory. Each neuron has a fixed threshold. Inhibition is absolute and it takes one time step for a signal to pass. This is an example for the Mikulec-Pitts, and it has a rule called as it should obtain the weights by performing analysis of the problem. It is a main rule for this. It's a general architecture, collecting so many inputs and get only a single output. It's a general architecture. So recurrent networks. These are used to implement the arbitrary logical functions. The dimensions of the input and output data are known. When the computations with an input of variable length such as feed-forward network will not work. And this Mikulec-Pitts network can be used in recurrent networks by introducing a temporal factor to the computation. Here the input arrives at the time t and the output is produced at the time. Next, linear threshold unit. Here the perceptron can be defined as a single artificial neuron that computes its weight input with the help of the threshold activation function or step function. It is also called as an TLU, threshold logical unit. Next, applications of threshold logic. So it reduces the execution time of a logic operation, and majority K out of a n input can be implemented with a single threshold. So linear separability. So definition is sets of points in 2D space are linearly separable if the sets can be separated by a straight line. Concept where is in the separation of the input space into regions is based on whatever the network response is positive or negative. So this is some of the example for linear separable and non-linear separable. So linear separable patterns, they are having a perfect separation between the two images, but in non-linearly separable patterns there is no partition or a clear separation between the two images. Next, the net input of the output neuron is defined as y in, Y in is an input where the input network to the output neurons, and here the I is an integer which can be used in any type. So W naught is an initial weight. The following relationship gives the boundary region of net input. So B plus summation I to xi wi is equal to 0. So this is a boundary condition for the net input. The equation here can be used to determine the decision boundary between the region where y input is greater than 0 and y input is less than 0. The training input vectors for which the correct response is 1 lie on the either side of the boundary, then the problem is called linearly separable. So if any training input vectors of the correct response lie on the either side of the boundary, the boundary condition is one is the input should be greater than 0 and the input should be less than 0. So then that problem is called as a linearly separable problem. If the above criteria is not meet, then the problem is called as a linearly non-separable. So when the input lies beyond the boundary condition, then it is said to be linearly non-separable condition. So introduction to perceptrons. So what is perceptron? It is a single processing unit of a neural network. The perceptron uses a step function that returns +1 if weighted sum of the inputs 0 or -1 otherwise. So perceptrons in terms of biological neurons. This is a biological structure of an perceptron. So here also there is an input and it's an output. The center connection is called as an hillock. So what perceptron can do? In machine language, the perceptron is an algorithm for supervised classifications of an input into one of several possible non-binary outputs. So perceptron can be defined as a single artificial neuron that computes its weight input with the help of threshold activation function or step function. The perceptron is used for binary classifications. So the perceptron can only model linearly separable classes as we saw in the previous chapter. The first train of perceptron for the classification task is it find a suitable weight in such a way that the training examples are correctly classified, and the geometrical try to find a hyperplane that separates the examples of two classes. What are the limitations of perceptrons? The perceptrons can only model linearly separable functions, those functions which can be drawn in two-dimensional graph, and single straight line separates the values in two parts. So Boolean functions given below are linearly separable. For example, and, or, other complete or complementary some gates are called as an linear separable functions. Perceptron learning algorithm. So here the training patterns are presented to the network's inputs. The output is computed. Then the connection weight Wj are modified by an amount that is proportional to the product of the difference between the actual output y and the desired output d and the input pattern x. The algorithm is as follows. First, initialize the weights and threshold to small random numbers. Then we have to present a vector x to the neuron input and calculate the output. So this is the general equation. Wj of t plus 1 is equal to Wj of t plus neta d minus y into x. So here the d is the desired output, t is the iteration number, and eta is a gain or step size where it should be 0.0 is less than n is less than 1.0. So the first two, repeat the steps 2 and 3 until the iteration error is less than the user specified error threshold or Q. So types of perceptrons: single layer and multi-layer. Single layer perceptron It is an arrangement of one input layer of neuron, and it uses a feed forward to one output layer of neuron, is known as a single layer perceptron. What does multi-layer means? It belongs to a general class of structure called feed forward neural network, a basic type of neural network. A basic type of neural network. Types of perceptrons. There are two types. First one is single layer and second one is multi-layer. A single layer means it needs a feed forward to one of the output layer of neurons. It is called as a single layer perceptron. Multi-layer means it is a general class of structure called feed forward neural networks. So this is a basic type of neural network. So single layer perceptron. This is the general architecture of the single layer perceptron. Here it has an many input which is combined with the weight from one layer of input to the another layer, and the output is taken in single points. So algorithm for single layer, and this single layer consists of an input and an output layer. The activation function is first employed in an hard limiting function. So basic definition of a single layer is an arrangement of one input of neurons feed forward to one output is known as a single layer perceptron. So learning algorithm, the first step is used to create a perceptron with n plus 1 input neurons. That is, as we saw in the basic structure, there are inputs as x0, x1 up to xn. So where x is defined as an bias input. So O be the output neuron. So the output is taken as O0, O1, or generally they will commonly taken one single output called as an O. The second step is initializing the weight. So initializing the weight means here the weight is denoted between the input and the output layers by W, two random weights. Then the third step is iterate through the input patterns xj of the training set using the weight set, that is compute the weighted sum of inputs. First, and then the fourth step is have to compute the output using the step function. And then the fifth step is we have to compare the computed output yj with the target output yj of each input pattern j. If all the input patterns have been classified correctly, then output the weights or exits. If the input patterns have been classified correctly, then output the weights and exit the operation. The sixth step is if otherwise they didn't exit from the pattern, then update the weights as given below. If the computed outputs yj is 1 but should have been 0, then wi is equal to wi minus alpha xi, where here x should be 0 to n. The second step is if the computed output yj is 0 but should have been 1, then the wi should be wi plus alpha xi, where I should be 0 to n, where alpha is the learning parameter in this constant. And step 7 is you have to repeat the step 3 from the step 3 for the next input. This is the process of the algorithm. Next, multi-layer perceptron. Multi-layer perceptron, MLP, is the most popular type of neural network which we are using in the day-to-day life. They belong to a general class of structures called feed-forward neural networks. A basic type of neural network is capable of approximating generic classes of function, including continuous and integrable functions. A multi-layer perceptron has one or more hidden layers with any number of units, and it uses a general sigmoid activation functions in the hidden layer, and has a number of outputs with any activation function, It has connections between the input layer and the first hidden layer, between the hidden layers, and between the last hidden layer and the output layer. So this is an example for next, adaptive linear neuron. It is also called as an ADLIN. In 1959, Bernard Widrow developed models they called ADLIN, Adaptive Linear Neuron, and MADLIN, Multi-Layer ADLIN. These models were named for their use of multiple adaptive linear elements. MADLIN was the first neural network to be applied to a real-world problem. It is an adaptive filter which eliminates echoes on phone lines. So this is a general structure of the ADLIN, architecture of the ADLIN. So here it is having a n number of inputs which are combined to the adder section and added with an element called B. So that is given to the activation function. Between the activation function and the adder, there is a comparison of the target output. So if the weight is not adjusted to the desired output, then this function would be reconnected to the input itself. So the additional to the adder, the B is called as a bias function. After finishing the activation function, we will get the desired or the target output. It is a general architecture. So using ADLIN network, there are 3 steps. First one is initialize, training, and thinking. So initialize is to assign a random weight to all the links which we are connected or considered as an input. Next, training. Feed in known input in random sequence, and then stimulates the network, compute error between the input and the output. And that is called an error function, and it adjusts the weights learning function. Repeat until the total error is less than the summation. So thinking, it simulates the network. Network will respond to any input, and it does not guarantee a correct solution even for trained inputs. Training algorithm for ADLIN. First step is to initialize the following to start the training, weights and the bias and the learning rate of alpha. The second step is continue the step 3 and 8 when the stopping condition is not true. Third step is continuous of fourth and sixth step for every bipolar training set, that is S is to T. And the fourth step is activate each input unit as xi is equal to si, where I is 1 to n. Fifth step is to obtain a net input with the following relation: yin is equal to b plus summation of I is equal to I to n xi wi. Here b is the bias and n is the total number of input neurons. And the sixth step is to apply the following activation function to obtain the final output. So the final output is f of y in is equal to 1 if y in is greater than or equal to 0. It will be minus 1 if y in is less than 0. The seventh step is to adjust the weight in two cases. The first case is when y is not equal to t. Then we have to adjust with the equation. If the second case y is equal to t, then we have to give this equation. If these two cases are satisfied, then the final output is obtained from the architecture. So where y is the actual output and t is the desired target output, and t minus yn is the computed error in the equation. The final step is step 8. It is used to test the stopping condition. This will be happen when there is no change in weight or the highest weight change occurred during training is smaller than the specified tolerance. Next, classical Hebb's rule. It is used to describe how the neural activities influence the connection between neurons and provides an algorithm to update weight of neural connection within neural network. Weight of connection between neurons is a function of the neural activity. So this is a general architecture. So next, classical Hebb rule. This classical Hebb rule is a postulate proposed by Donald Hebb in 1949. It is a learning rule that describes how the neural activities influence the connection between neurons, that is, the synaptic plasticity. It provides an algorithm to update weight of neural connection within neural network. Hebb's rule provides a simplicity psychological based model to mimic the activity dependent features of synaptic plasticity and has been widely used in the area of artificial neural network. So different versions of the rule have been proposed to make the updating rule more realistic. The weight of connection between neuron is a function of the neural activity. The classical Hebb rule indicates neurons that fire together are wired together. In the simplest form, Hebb's rule is Wij, that is weight of the connection from neuron I to J. This is a general term. And this is the architecture, and it will have a connection between our target from I to J and has a many input and single output. The perceptron in this type of artificial neural network, it can be used in a simple feed forward network acting as a binary classifier. The drawbacks of Hebb's rule. The speed and the power of computation are valued more than the resemblance, memory function mechanism, and harvesting the emerging properties of biological network. The models need to be built upon a certain degree of biophysical basis. Next, stability of Hebbian network. The stability problem, Bienenstock, Cooper and Muron proposed an omega-shaped learning rule called BCM rule. The general BCM improves Hebb's rule and takes the following form: dwg by dt, which is equal to psi xi into xj minus kw dot wij. Here w is the weights. Thank you.